Hello everyone! Happy almost New Year! It's been a little bit since I'm coming to you guys. It's a little bit bright behind me, hold on. That's better. Yay! Okay, so if you're out there, let me know. Hope you guys all had a beautiful, happy holiday, Merry Christmas, all the wonderful things. I decided to take a little break from, do I have stuff in my teeth? Yeah, I do. Sorry, guys. Should have looked in the mirror before I went live. Oh, now it's not going away. Oh, well, sorry. No, man, it's still there. Whatever. Okay, so we're just gonna roll with it. We get to go with it anyways. So, if you're out there, let me know. I decided to take a little break from musings for a few days because this week, actually, we decided to take the week off in between Christmas and New Year's, and it's been a much busier work week than anticipated. So everything that was not a necessity and an absolute must, I kind of shuffled off of my plate and figured out when I could do it later. So I am back in action on Melissa's Musings today. And if you're out there, please let me know. I'm not sure. Facebook's been doing some funky things out there. So give me some love, give me some hearts. I would love to see. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching. So today we're going to be talking about how happiness is a straight up no bullshit choice. And I know that we've all been depressed and down at times in our life, and it sucks, right? Sadness is a thing, but there is a very clear distinction of being sad and like being depressed and letting ourselves wallow in this sadness versus just feeling it and letting it pass through us. So I am a firm believer in experiencing feelings and not holding them in. I did that my entire life, and it did not serve me well, and I ended up with a lot of dis-ease in my gut from holding all of that resentment and guilt and straight up bullshit, basically. So, that being said, where was I going with that? Focus box. That being said, happiness is a straight up choice, like no bullshit. And I have a really good friend. This made me crack up yesterday. I'm going to tell you guys a little story. I have a really good friend who recently started ALA, the Ascension Leadership Academy program that I did this past year. And she's like in the process right now. She's in level 3, so she's already graduated levels 1 and 2, and she's in her 3-month-long level 3 process. And she came over for tea yesterday, and we were chatting about how amazing her experience has been. And she was sharing with me that when she talks to people who, you know, she hasn't spoken to in quite a while, she connects with them, and they're like, "Oh my God, you sound so happy. It's so good to hear from you." And she was like, and it's kind of like crazy that like people keep making comments about my happiness. And my response is, get this like, I just practically peed my pants. She's like, so they'll be, you know, giving me feedback. They're like, "Wow, Jenna, it's been so long since we've chatted and you just sound so happy." And she was like, yeah, and fuck me, right? I could have been this way the whole time, but I chose not to. And it cracked me up. Because how true is that, right? She's like on a phone with her friend, and her friends are like, "Wow, you're so positive. What's changed? Like, you seem so happy. Oh my God." And she was like, haha, and fuck me, right? I could have been happy the whole time, but I chose not to be. You gotta love it, right? Because happiness is a straight up choice. And then she went on to tell me about, you know, all of the things she's realized and how much she's been holding on to all of this shit and this stuff that she carries around with her, all of this resentment and, you know, unworthiness and just all of those conversations that us as human beings carry around with us. But she was able to shift and so dramatically see that for a very long time, she's been wallowing in a pity of self-despair. And one of my friends, she says, I love what she says. She was sitting in the shit, sitting straight in that shit for how long? Choosing unhappiness versus happiness. Her circumstances weren't exceptionally poor. You know, her roadblocks were similar to everybody else's. She plays a big game, so her roadblocks were bigger than a lot of other people's, but doesn't mean she couldn't get past them. And for so long, she chose, you know, resentment and sadness and depression over choosing happiness. And nothing in her life changed. Her life remains the same, but she's made conscious decisions of how she wants to show up, and she chose that she gets to show up happy, so that's what she gets to do. So I encourage you guys, if you are, as you're kind of gearing up for the new year, it's a great time to be really considerate of our mindset and to be programming ourselves for what we want out of the, you know, the year and the months to come. So if you are struggling in an area of unworthiness or I'm not good enough or, you know, any of those conversations that may be holding you back from the things that you want in life, it's your opportunity to totally shift that mindset. And if you are having thoughts of depression and you feel depressed and you constantly tell yourself, I'm so depressed. Well, guess what, sister or brother? You're going to be depressed. Are you experiencing feelings of depression? If so, how do you get to experience feelings of happiness? You are not depression. If anything, you are happiness. You are happiness. You are happiness that is experiencing feelings of depression. So if you are experiencing feelings of depression or sadness or are just struggling, one, reach out to me. I would love to talk to you and we get to connect and I get to support you and we just get to shoot the shit and I get to learn all about what you're going through. I would love and be honored if you trusted me with that. So feel free to give me a call or shoot me a message. Or you get to totally shift and just decide to be happy and then shift your circumstances to find the silver lining in every situation, regardless of if it's perceived as a shitty situation or not. So happiness is 100% a choice. As my friend said to her friend, fuck me, right? I could have been happy the whole time, but I chose not to be. And she laughs about it. She's like, I'm 30 years old and I could have been happy all 30 years. Literally every day of those 30 years, I could have experienced sadness and I could have experienced depression in those days, but I could have chosen happiness every single day and I get to choose happiness every day forward. And I was like, mind blown. So I love you guys and I am here for you and I am so excited to see all of you conquer and shift into happiness this year. Everyone is deserving of happiness. I am the #1 culprit of a self-worthiness conversation that has told me for quite some time I am unworthy of happiness. And now I know that's not true and you get to know that's not true too. So I love you. We'll talk soon.